We'll go down to the resolutions on the American Rescue Plan. Mr. Calhoun, you ready? Everybody ready on that one? I think we are.
Where we at, Charlie?
Number one.
Yeah, I think we're ready.
Everybody's ready on that, I believe. We had our meeting. We're done. Okay? County Commission, I understand, passed theirs this morning as is, so this will solve the problem for the entire group.
All right.
Okay. Number two, an appeal by Bob Fine. We'll see him at 5 o'clock if he shows up. Okay? Number three, AT&T Corporation layout, maintain, operate transmission cable. That's kind of standard operating procedure. Madam Clerk, I'm taking your job away from you. You want to announce it?
No, you go right ahead. I do it in the other meeting.
I got a couple things I want to get to here later on. All right, number 4 and number 5. Betty, this is something in the retirement system. Anybody got? Who can answer stuff about number 4 and 5?
It's the one-time bonus, right?
I believe it is. Is this the?
It is.
Is this the one-time bonus
Yes, sir.
for the retirees?
The retirees and pensioners, the last,
Pull the mic around.
oh, sorry. This is, okay, that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the legislation that was passed, what was it, 22-111, I believe, saying that municipalities and counties could go along with the state in providing a longevity payment based on years of service.
Okay.
And it's $2 per month times the number of months that you actually worked.
So this works on the retirees and their dependents?
Yes, the beneficiary of those.
Beneficiary of the, okay.
Yes.
All right.
And we have to
Now,
have two.
this takes care of what we were talking about for the next year's budget?
Yes, sir. But
This
we
is
have
it.
to get the resolutions done.
So this is like is this $1 million?
It's right at $1 million.
Okay,
It
what I
is.
thought.
And there are two of them because you got retirees and you got pensioners.
$1
That's why
million
you-
each?
No.
Total million?
Total.
Okay, I just want to get it clear now. I want to make sure, I didn't want you to have a stroke on me. Okay.
It's total.
All right, good deal. All right, anybody got any questions, Miss Betty? All right, number 6 and 7. Understand, Madam Clerk, how do we get, isn't that taken care of now?
I think they requested to carry it over.
Yeah, I know about that.
Hey, Brother Get a Slice, he came in last month, signed a payment agreement, made the first payment on it. Now his next payment was due today, as well as his May sales tax. He had not arrived yet by the time I left to come over here. I had advised Ms. Blaylock that my recommendation is we carry him over until the first meeting in July, just to ensure that he's made the payments.
Okay, sounds like a good benefit.
Okay.
Would it 6 and 7 carry over to July?
No, sir, we'll have to do the show cause hearing.
Okay, all right. That's
We'll carry over 7.
carry over 7, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, gotcha. All right, number 8 and 9. Let's go
He has
on.
not made any
He made
payments.
nothing at all, okay.
All right.
All right, we need to pass this one.
Did you
No
ever get a chance
carryover.
to talk to him?
Beg pardon?
Did you ever talk with him?
The auditor that had been working with him, I spoke with her and she said that she had not heard from him. So,
That's all we need to know.
okay.
You must want to be out of business. All right, number 10, Chuck E. Cheese, Eastdale Mall. No, that's Mr. Ed's over there. Mr. Ed, you okay with Chuck E. Cheese?
Fine with that.
All right,
Those kids need something to drink.
good. All right, number 11. What's happening to number 11?
That's the one where we're going to have people present to
They're
protest
gonna sign up to talk about this.
assessment.
Okay.
They protesting what?
Yeah, we got some protests. Okay, and number 12 is tear them down,
I hope they told him.
and number 13 is the abatements. Okay. We'll see who signs up to talk about those on the agenda today.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Okay, now, Anna Buckler's here with the folks in the chamber to talk to us about the I-65 Southern Boulevard corridor study. So Anna, I'm running a little bit earlier than I thought it would be, but y'all are on, you got some time. So, for your information, Lynn Pruitt, Audrey, myself, and Cece have seen this, and everybody should have gotten a copy of it. And they're going to talk to you about about what's going on with this corridor study for the southern bypass and explain what it is, okay?
Thank you, Mr.
Ms.
President.
Anna?
Members of the council, we're glad to be here today. You all remember that several months ago, you asked for the chamber to take a look at the Southern Boulevard corridor, specifically about a specific radius around the gateway at I-65. Working with Robert Smith with the city and Planning Next, who led your 2040 planning initiative for the city. Logan Stang is here, Senior Planner for Planning Next. Logan has done this work in conjunction with Kevin Hively. Some of you know Kevin from also 2040, who does kind of the economics piece of this. I have seen this, and it's extremely informative. Talks about our need in Montgomery to prioritize, draw a bullseye around some targets. We talk a lot about identifying problems, but with some focus and some clarity, which I think this information will show you, we can actually start to resolve some of these issues. Just to keep in mind that also right now the Chamber has several projects in conjunction with the city and county that relate to the I-65 corridor. The study by Skipper Transportation that deals with the gateway into downtown and Maxwell Boulevard, working on a comprehensive study there that will basically bookend from the Hope Hole exit of 65 all the way to Maxwell, Clay, and Heron Street interchange. And then also the downtown plan itself, and we have the downtown plan team in town this week. Hope you guys have those dates on your calendar to participate in some of those meetings. They should be wrapping that up pretty soon. I'll turn it over to Logan.
That's Wednesday morning, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Wednesday, 11?
Yes, sir. Logan?
Awesome. Thank you, Anna. And I appreciate you all giving me a little bit of time this afternoon to go through this with you. Hopefully you all had a chance to dive into this, so I just want to hit a couple points that were really the key takeaways from what my team looked at here. And that's focused on two big opportunities for this interchange. This is a major intersection for Montgomery. It's a gateway into the community. There's a lot of people who are either driving by or driving through here to get to either work, where they live, passing through, visiting. So it is a major component of part of Montgomery, and it is one of those key gateways. So as we looked into this area in particular, there were two opportunities that emerged from it. The first one being that this is probably one of, if not the last interchange that has large properties with direct access. And what that means is that this is an opportunity to build on some of the industrial, the employment, the logistics, or different types of industries that you could bring to this area due to this connectivity to both I-65, 85, the larger network, to things like the airport, to its proximity to downtown, to Maxwell. It is really at a crossroads and can serve to be an attraction piece for a number of different employers. And leveraging some of these larger properties really gives this area an opportunity to attract some additional investment. The other component is building off of some of the residential neighborhoods that you have here and really providing new opportunities for more residential, for workforce type of housing, for alternative products that might not be available either in the immediate area or in the larger city. So being able to build these two kind of complementary uses is a huge piece that plays into the ability to revitalize this portion of Southern Boulevard and see where there's opportunities to extend that to other areas across the city. So with those being two of the big opportunities, one of the things that I wanted to touch on is what are some of the critical first steps for that. And I think one of the things that you would see there is how can we just improve the character of the area? How can we build and help see some of that initial revitalization efforts underway? And that really looks at how can we build off of some of the property maintenance, off of some of the code enforcement, using the tools that we have in place, but exploring what are some revisions, what are some amendments, what are some things that we can really pilot and test here to just further improve and enhance the area and really elevate it up to what we all remember, this corridor being however many years ago it may have been for you. And that's really looking at, Birmingham has a good example of this, of what we would consider our escalating property maintenance fees. And that's where you start to enact something that prevents repeat offenders. It really forces people to either get involved in helping improve the area or allowing people to come in and really step forward and be partners in improving that, whether that's the city, whether that's a private partner, whether that's an entity on behalf of the city, but somebody else can come in and start to not only address some of the conditions that might be out there, some of the challenges that we might have, but look at opportunities to acquire and build on, start to consolidate properties to help attract some of these bigger players who are going to want to come in and really push forward some investments within here and really focus this out. And we see this, as Anna mentioned, this is one piece of a larger puzzle, right? There's a lot, as you drive this stretch of the corridor, there's a lot of this that is similar further to the east on Southern Boulevard or in other corridors around Montgomery. So can we use this as an opportunity to really prioritize and pilot some new initiatives for the city that we can then build up and start to put elsewhere around here? And that's something that I think we believe firmly in, is that this is a critical starting point and can help just grow. If you can focus investments here, we can start to achieve some larger scale changes across the city. So with that, I do want to see what questions you all might have for me, or what can I help answer as you looked through this.
Anybody?
I have no question except for, Anna, can I have a copy of that? I guess the PowerPoint slides that he has?
I think they emailed them to us. Didn't y'all email them? Yeah, she said that.
Yeah. Just email it again to everybody.
Thank you.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, we can share that out. And I will say that there's two documents with this. There's one, this PowerPoint slide, that's the condensed version, that's the key takeaways, and there is a larger detailed memo that really gets into the data, the background, a lot of the information we pulled. So we wanted to make sure that you had the ability to really dive into this if you were interested.
I think it was enlightening to see what you did come up with and what we got to work with and the amount of property there. And then, like you said, Anna, the connectivity to everything that's going on down the old 31 toward Hyundai and at Hyundai also. I mean, the trucking business is going to get larger in Montgomery, and we've got to be ready for it.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Kippy Tate, and I know this is kind of just putting a pin in you, but I know you and I had spoke about some of those dilapidated hotels and things, and just, starting the process on some of that. And this is why that's one of the key takeaways that I took from what our conversation was, is that we have to start. No one's going to come in with it looking the way it looked. And so some of our initial step is to, as the city and Colden, to see where we can kind of buckle down a little bit on that, and then, hold their foot to the fire. So I know you and I had a conversation. I know you're working on it, but I just want you to know that is the reason why I kind of came to you about it, because I felt like his conversation, his effort and time and the work they put in was, phenomenal, and it makes so much sense. And I like the vision that they brought with the PowerPoint. And I really want to see us take hold to it and not just be something we did and then that was 1 year, 10 years later, we're still talking about when someone came. We really want to, I would like to see, and I know the people who live in District 4, not just District 4, but the City of Montgomery, because they ride down through there and by there too and see that. I know the city would like to see us do something. So thank you so much for whatever efforts y'all are already working on, trying to get it all pulled together and work with us. And I really think, we're going to be able to do something.
Real quick, just to give you an idea, we've got a good inventory of properties out there where some demolition could be useful. We have cataloged a lot of that, put it in a spreadsheet, have pictures, gathering costs now, so we should have that ready in the next few days.
Well, I appreciate that.
And would invite any of you to come by, or however you want to do this, so you can see where we are. We can partner with you guys to see where the priorities are.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things that we would want to make sure is that we're setting you up to be as successful as you can from the implementation side. So whatever we can do as we start to, package this up, however we can help set up to really get off on that good foot and start seeing some of those investments and changes, that's exactly what we want to do, because there's a lot that's already been put in place today. There's a lot that the city has, but there are definitely some things that we can continue to build on, or we can explore that are new or just new to the city, and we can use some best practices to bring those in. But that's great to hear.
Well, just let us know. We're ready.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all
Thank you,
for
Ms.
coming.
Buckaloo, for that. We appreciate you and the chamber. I do. I'm very grateful for that,
Thank
because I
you.
know I'm always talking about District 4, but it's for the good of the city. It's not just about District 4, it's for the good of the city, so
Yes,
thank you for
ma'am.
that.
Well, thank y'all so much for your leadership, and I think Logan has given some specific examples to us on this of the way that we can adopt, enforce things we already have on the books. This report includes a list of every parcel, every owner, and there's a lot of local ownership, which is nice because some of these areas of town, we have a lot of outside ownership. This is something we can do, and working with Mr. Tate, this gives you a tool to automatically start enforcing and targeting a priority. And so I appreciate very much the council and the mayor's office really wanting to say, let's do a doable. Let's draw a circle around something and fix this. And then there are other steps we can take which would require some new ordinances, I believe. But where there are more acute steps to actually, the city could acquire property, and then own this property and have an aggressive strategy for you take it over when people don't comply, and then you control the future of that development, and then that gives us development sites for future development in those priority corridors. So it helps the neighborhoods and the residents and stimulates economic growth. But thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Stacy, can I ask you a question before we move on? I know we were talking about some of those fees that we charge, because that was one of them, maybe even increasing some of those fees for abatements. Is there a federal statute that tell us we have to charge a certain amount, or are we allowed to kind of escalate them based off how many times we've had to abate them, especially for, not for property owners, let me say that in case somebody watching, for businesses? If we have to keep going, I mean, they're a business. It's not like it's somebody's house and they're struggling. We're talking about a company. You make money or have made money in the city, and you won't even keep up your property or keep it to standard, you know. So is there a way we can do an escalating, you know, flow or payment system on that?
We can look, but what we charge are administrative fees. We can't charge fines, so to speak. Only municipal court can do that.
Okay.
So the administrative fees are really tied to the cost that we're incurring in enforcing the ordinance.
But we can change administrative fees.
Yes.
Okay, all right, okay.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate that.
We have one other person, Cheryl Graham. She came to speak to us about the Amazing Grace Health Ministries.
Yes, sir. Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Pull the microphone around, will you?
City Council. Hi, is this better?
There you go, that's much better.
Okay. My name's Cheryl Graham. I'm the founder and director for Amazing Grace Health Ministries. We are a nonprofit, provide free healthcare management and social support services to vulnerable seniors and disabled veterans. The brochure that you've passed out kind of lists the services that we do, but I'm here asking for funds for a couple specific areas that have really become problematic with trying to help these seniors and veterans. One is our senior supplement program. I've been partnered with the food bank for 5 years now with their senior supplement program, where we would provide 40 pounds of food a month to seniors that we had, had been referred to us for, nutritional insecurity. And since COVID's over, the donations are down dramatically. And for the last 4 to 6 months, the order sheet for the senior program has 5 different types of dry beans, dog food, cat food, hand sanitizers. And you cannot provide adequate nutrition to seniors with that type of options. So I've been doing my own shopping, like at Costco or Sam's. The other thing is we were blessed by Veterans Wellness Center of Alabama. They gave us a van so we could provide free medical transportation to these same vulnerable seniors and disabled vets. And we not only do medical transportation, but we also do grocery store, we'll take them to the stores. So I've collaborated with a couple of the apartment complexes, the Capitol Heights apartment complex, it's the apartment complex right here next to the Rosa Parks Museum. I think it's King William. Mm-hmm. And so we've done food giveaways there. We have once a month shopping days that I go there, and whoever signs up, we take them to the grocery store. If somebody calls, we'll do visits, bring them food. We also deliver equipment. I have a donor who gives me unlimited incontinence supplies. So we have a list of people who we can take these things to, but gas is outrageous. And so trying to get these commonly needed issues done, we've had to pull our few funds from, we were paying co-pays for medications, co-pays for, specialty visits. We get referrals from Department of Public Health, from doctors that I've worked with. I'm a retired nurse, from Central Alabama Aging Consortium, from healthcare providers. Just can't meet all these needs, or, funds are low, almost down to nothing. And so I've just come before you all just to, ask you to help supplement these programs with some funds.
Very good. We'll see that. We see where you're at. You qualified through our system. Is she already in our system?
Yes, sir, she's
Okay.
already been.
Have you been to the county commission?
Pre-COVID, you blessed me twice with some money, and
Yeah,
thank you.
You need to go to the county commission, though. I assure you, they got more money we got.
I need to go where?
The county commission. Go see the county.
Yeah.
You got a
Is
county
that-
commissioner
that's-
sitting on the back row back there.
Yeah, you serve a lot of
Mr.
people. in
Stanky,
our
you can
district.
help. You can help
I
these two
know
out.
him,
Wow.
yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Stanky, you go ahead.
He'll write you a
You
check
got one to
now.
give him your telephone
Yes.
number.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I have. I
You
know
got
him,
them,
yes.
all right. Just
I
wanna
just,
make- I
we
want to
have-
share the love, Mr. Stanky.
I'm coming to everybody.
Okay.
Because we serve the entire river region. Every district represented here, I've got clients there outside in the county, up as far as Birmingham. I'll do work, anyone who calls me.
Okay.
If I can't
We'll
meet
help
their
you,
needs,
okay? Thank you for being here today.
I have no choice. I have to. That's my calling.
I got you,
Thank you,
okay?
ma'am.
We got you on our list, all right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Council, I have
Yes.
nothing else on the,
I have a couple things.
okay?
Charlie?
Yes, sir.
I have two things, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
First thing is, I have been calling Ms. Ingrid about the situation with Home Depot and those 18-wheelers that's parked out.
yeah.
I never did get a call back, and I want to see what, if anything, that can be done about those trucks, because you can barely see Home Depot when you ride
I
past.
can't imagine Home Depot doesn't do something. That's private property, their private property, and they're letting that happen.
Eastern Bypass.
Eastern
Yeah,
Bypass.
Eastern
yes.
Bypass.
They
Yeah.
all over the one on Chantilly too. I left the movies the other night. There were trucks everywhere.
They own the Chantilly, they own the movie theater. on it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It wasn't in the parking lot. It looked like it was kind of between on the road. And
There's a
everywhere
road
else.
behind there they
Yeah,
can go on.
I,
too.
I think they're fine in different locations where they can park because they're on Coliseum Boulevard as well at that Pizza Hut. They've taken over that
They're
parking lot.
everywhere. And I think the reality of it, if they're on private property, the property owner's got to run them off. I mean,
Well, they can have them towed, yes.
Miss Stacy, is there a way that we can send, and I'm not sure if this is a legal thing or maybe a Mr. Hodge thing, I see him sitting back there, or Mr. Tate, Kippy Tate. Is there a way we can send a letter out to these business owners to just say, that 18-wheeler parking or something along that line is just not in line with what we want for the city of Montgomery? Is there a way we can?
Well, yes, in line with what Councilman Johnson was saying, out there on the Coliseum Boulevard, I have looked at records where Tommy Tyson has sent letters out to those.
So there are
businesses.
letters.
There are letters, yes,
Have you tried
that comes
that
from
already?
Tommy's
No,
office.
I think that's coming from the business, not from that's coming from the business owner or from the city.
Coming from the city
Okay.
to the business owner.
Okay.
Right. So maybe
Yes.
we do that.
There are zoning issues, I
That's
think.
more than that, she's right. This is a zoning
That-
issue.
we got one over behind the Waffle House on the southern Eastern Boulevard. They're parking in there.
So I don't know if anybody's here from that office, but I'll be happy to call them in the morning.
Yeah, I
Okay.
called Ms. Ingram, but I didn't get a call back from her.
You need to send a letter to them.
Well, we'll
Check them up.
coordinate that.
Okay.
We'll help coordinate that.
That'd be good.
And maybe
One more
she
thing,
just
Mr.
Yes,
President.
sir. Yes, sir.
send an email.
I was looking in other cities because I get so many complaints about eviction when landlords go in and those people that they are evicting are leaving their stuff and they're putting it on the sidewalk, putting it on the street, and sanitation have to come in, and sanitation will have to do a forced removal, but that removal is tacked on to the person that water bill is in, and we rarely ever get any money. I just didn't understand why is it not going to the property owner instead of the individual that water bill, because my thing is once they move, if they go to an apartment and that water is provided or sanitation is, they're not going to pay anything. And it looks bad being in my district, and it sits there for 2 weeks and people go through it. And I had to just find that ordinance. I know another city prohibits landlords from putting stuff on the sidewalk, on the street for his eviction. And I just wanted to see, could we look at something like that, or could we do something more than what we're doing because it's sitting there so long? And I think that's going to be, I don't know if that's going to be on sanitation or it's going to be, Ms. Stacy, is it something that we can look at?
Landlords dumping their junk on the street.
So
If they're putting it, if the landlords are putting their trash on the side of the road, if it's something that I know, and sanitation could speak more directly to it, but typically if it's just putting trash out there for them to pick it up, they can. Sanitation will charge them a certain fee for certain things. But
now most time it's going to be households, it's going to be furniture, it's going to be just junk. And I think when I talked to Mr. Dickey, he said they did they're supposed to go out there in 72 hours, but they are behind, so that 72 hours may turn into a week, but they will go out there and do a forced removal where that fee is tacked on to the water bill. And he said that more than likely they never get their money for that tacked on fee. And I was just asking, could we do an ordinance prohibiting it, or could we change it that the landowner is charged instead of the renters?
well,
Lien the property.
I would think we did charge the landowner.
No, he said it goes to sanitation. It goes to whoever that water work. It goes on that water work bill.
I'll look and see what else is out there, what other municipalities do.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe, let me ask this, make this recommendation or suggestion, that instead of like charging the landlord, I don't own any properties, so I don't have that problem, but I'm just thinking about the landlord. They probably didn't even get their rent. That's why they evicted the people, so they already got a deficit. Now we're gonna charge them because they got the people left the stuff, they couldn't do nothing with it.
But
so they
same thing with the people that's getting evicted. If they didn't get their rent, they mean they might not have it to give. So now they're finna.
But it's still they fault.
They're now finna move somewhere else and don't get sanitation. Now we finna have them dumping trash everywhere because they can't pay that.
They're gonna do that anyway. You see
I'm
how
just
much
still,
trash they left in the other house? But let me just say this. Maybe if it's something we can work out with property owners, that when it comes to that, when they have to do evictions, that they have a different rate versus the full rate, so that they do maybe inquire that so they can clean their house, get their property ready for the next tenant, but without having to make them pay such a large fee. So maybe we can look at a way for property owners to do that, and we get something, the city gets something for picking it up, but maybe not the full bulk or whatever the price is, maybe.
But something.
And I don't know if we
You
can
gotta
do
have
that.
something to slow it down,
Like,
because the
who
city
governs that fee?
ends up eating it.
City ends up eating.
And we do it already on
But
everything
if we
else.
get half of the money from
It'd be
somebody,
nice.
that's better than nothing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
right.
who determines the fee that the sanitation charges? Is that by ordinance from us or
I think sanitation does.
sanitation? So
We
maybe
need to
then that's
raise
a question
that.
we should
Yeah.
probably sit and
It's
talk
pretty
about that.
cheap.
Sanitation,
That fee is way too cheap. I've asked Dan about it. No, Rhonda, it's not your neighborhood. It's all over town. I was riding through Forest Hills. I was riding through Fox Hollow. We had the Oxford House. There's 8 mattresses piled up on the street out there. We got to do some, guys. It rains now. It is just it's a mess. We need to address that badly. Charlie, I got a couple things I want to mention. for
okay,
you.
yeah, go ahead.
All right, first of all, Stacy, I know we got the Oxford House over in Fox Hollow, and I know we can't get them out. But if they break the law, can we not do something then? If y'all don't know it, y'all saw my email about the Oxford, those things, and
Y'all hear that? The Oxford House he's talking about? This is a real problem in our neighborhood.
it's all over. It's not just my neighborhood, guys, it's all over.
What's going on. You need to
And
take
so we got these, they set these halfway houses up, and they're self-governed. And these things are self-governed. They don't have a house mom or anything like that. They're self-governed, and we had an incident in Fox Hollow, and Major Rucker can talk to it, and where, the guy died. We don't know, and it'll be months before we get a toxicology report back. But there were drug paraphernalia there. Well, it's not working. They need to leave. I understand that we can't keep them from renting, but as long as they play by the rules. And we ought to have some set of rules that they play by. You know, that there's some check-in. They don't have to check in with the city or anybody. There's nobody there regulating.
No business license.
There's no business license. They operate in this Oxford House. And Chip, I didn't send you the information on Oxford House. You ought to look that up. It's alarming.
Owner of the house, Sarasota, Florida.
Yeah, the owner of the house in Sarasota, it's a tons of money.
$130 a day per room.
Yeah.
So in essence, it looks like they're running it from when I read it and looked at it and talked with you, it looks like they're running it like a rental.
It
So
is.
what we could do
But
as the council is we can regulate rentals from out-of-state owners. And we can make that an ordinance, because we don't have any.
No, Stacy sent it, we can't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm content that we can't do anything with that. They can rent where they want to, but I'm not content when they're not good neighbors and they're doing things that nowhere, we're not helping them rehab, we're contributing to their delinquents. We need to get them out. We need to be able to do something when that program's broken.
The ordinance we have in place now, and we're doing this for Councilor Graham right now, is a disruptive residential rental property ordinance. But basically, for that to come into play, there have to be calls for service there. Either police calls for service or inspections calls for service, where it's being disruptive to the neighborhood. There's record of it, and if there is, then we put the owner on notice and the occupants on notice, and the owner has the opportunity to cure the defect, so to speak. The 2 or 3 times we've done that so far, the owners have evicted the people who were in the residence, and we're just now getting ready to send one out to someone in Councilor Graham's neighborhood.
And what's the name of it, Stacy?
It's a disruptive residential rental property ordinance.
Can we send one to that? The police went out there now.
Well, if you've only got one call.
We need these people to register with the city when they're doing these things. I mean, this.
You know, I got one in my district over by Gateway Park, and they literally, some of the community members, they just claiming, they said they're just afraid because they, you know, this is like a halfway house. So
That's what
It
these
is
are.
halfway out.
right, people coming from prison going straight to these older people in the car ride, but they hadn't done anything to them, so.
Now I've got 3 in Bellhurst, 3 or 4, and they've been one moved. I don't know why moved. The others have been fine. So yeah.
Major Rucker said,
Major Rucker,
you want to address
tell us about it. How are we going to stop it?
Which one?
the halfway houses. We're talking about the Oxford House.
Like I said, I think myself and Councilman Grimes had this discussion. The incident he's talking about, I think, is the only incident we responded to. We responded to the house for a reference to a deceased subject. Once they got there, they did notice there was some kind of paraphernalia in the residence. However, you would not know exactly what it was that was taken until the toxicology come back, and that could be months. So we can only assume at this point.
And I'll say that business licenses, they were a part of the email. They're reaching out to other municipalities too to see if they have found some way to govern these properties. The problem is we've got federal law, and Oxford House was a party to one of the federal lawsuits.
Right.
So that basically says right now we don't really have a lot of authority to govern that.
And also, one other thing I did find out, I talked to the homeowners that own the residence. They're currently overseas on a 30-day vacation.
But the kind of money they're making, I'm telling you how many houses they got.
That's the only one that they have. So basically what they did was they rented it out, and this was to Oxford House. And the reason that they got the house rented out to Oxford House, it has to be approved by State Mental Health. State Mental Health conducted an inspection and approved it. And basically they authorized Oxford House to use their residence. They didn't get into details of how much money they're making, but they're currently living in Florida. They still own the house, but right now they're currently overseas on vacation.
It's big bucks.
Extended
You saw the numbers, it's big bucks.
Thank you.
Yes.
I got one,
Well, that's
he did one,
I think
we
that-
talked about it the other day. I knew where we
Ed,
at.
Ed, you talked about the business end of it. They don't have to have a business license.
No, they don't. But we need to look at something to regulate them.
Yeah, we got.
I got one more thing, Charlie, and
ahead.
I'll be quiet. I'm getting worn out. There's a guy camping on the Northeast Boulevard and Atlanta Highway. He is right there. If you were coming from Wetumpka and you're on the Eastern Boulevard and you dropped off the Atlanta Highway on the right, and I was going to East Elm out in the little round, he is hunkered down right there. He's got all his gear, his dog, his bicycle, and he's been there, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks. Everybody asks me, what can we do? And I'm just asking, I don't know, can we maybe get John Bowen's group to go by and talk to him, Charlie? I don't know, Stacey.
Well, I think the police need to go back and talk to him first.
Who?
The police. He's homeless. I mean, we need to find out why he's there. I think the police need to go have a visit, Chip,
Well, now,
and see what the situation is, and then see where that we get back to our panhandling deal. Is that how do we help these people? You know, somebody's got to be able to help this guy, or either he's not helpable. But we've got to address it, and somebody in the city's got to say, knock on his door and say, what can we do to help you? You can't stay here in that particular situation.
and before we send to MPD, Desmond Wilson, and I know he's not in here, but I had a guy who was living under the bridge in District 4, and one of the young ladies in his office, I can't remember who she was, but she really, just has been able to connect with them, and those who will take help, she's been able to help them. And so I think maybe if we make contact with Desmond and see if that young lady will go out and talk with him first and see if we can offer him services or, put him in contact with wherever the services are before we send MPD, just because MPD is to me, is, just kind of, it seems harsh a little bit. So if we send someone with a softer approach first, it may go further. But Desmond has someone in his office, and they have really been working with the homeless, because, we have the crisis center over there. They've really been working with that, so let's
I didn't know that. I know that Hope Inspired Ministry does it.
Yes.
The bypass.
Yeah.
The
right.
homeless
wish it
people.
was
Spot
yeah.
has been from the
We got it
get-go.
everywhere.
It's
Yeah.
bad. I mean,
Yeah.
He was
looks
really,
terrible.
they went out there
we'll
for
get
a
some
week
out.
trying to find the guy up under the bridge, but every time they went, he was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went looking for him, so they do it.
All right, good deal.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie, thanks, I'm
You
done.
got it.
We're
All right. Anybody else got
copacetic.
anything? Glenn?
I'm done.
Charlie, we met this morning, Chip, we met with the county commission, Bert and I went over, and they're gonna adopt our resolution on the panhandling campaign. They'll change the city of Montgomery to the county, but they were all in favor with it. They're gonna put it on their agenda for July 5th, and all four of them said that they would vote for it, so it'd be unanimous. And they also said, as a group, that they're gonna make a contribution to the panhandling campaign, so hopefully that'll help Audrey with Burton.
Yeah.
And then one more thing, real quick, Chip, and I was talking to Stacy earlier. I had a meeting last night with a bunch of neighborhoods, and as always, speeding and all this kind of stuff is, what they need and what they want. And as you guys know, we are well understaffed in the Montgomery Police Department. Question I had for Stacy was today, Pike Road has 9,500 people in their city limits, town, whatever you want to call it. And they continue to grow and they continue to build. We, the citizens of Montgomery, which include about 80% inside the county, 80 to 85% of the people in the county live in the city limits, we are paying for their police protection in Pike Road.
Bingo.
The city of Montgomery, with our taxpayers' dollars, are paying for the police department in Pike Road for the sheriff's office. And Stacy said today that there is no law to make someone create a police department. I thought there was a number, and Stacy said there wasn't. How do we address this? I mean, if I'm Gordon Stone in Pike Road, I'm gonna ride this horse until you can't ride it anymore. It's free police protection, and when we are, everybody in the 9 districts in the city is scrambling, for extra patrol, writing tickets and so forth. Just doesn't seem very fair to me at all.
Now, you would think at a minimum there'd be some reimbursement for services, if not a creation of a new force.
You would think. I mean, is it something that we look at passing a local bill or something that says when you reach 7,500 people, you must, because look, they can go to 25, 30,000, and I went out to vote this afternoon. There's gas, I mean, they are building.
Yeah.
They're building, and we, the citizens, are funding it. And I just did some rough numbers. The sheriff's budget last year was $26,436 million. 26,436. 80% of that, and I think we're at 85. 80% of that's $21 million. We are funding that whole police department in the city of Montgomery for Pike Road to continue their growth.
I think that's something that we should talk to the local delegation about, because would that be something that
Need
should be
something to-
enacted on the state level?
Absolutely.
I think that is a really
You can bet
good
that,
point to make, Glenn.
going
That'll save
numbers
us some
with
money
laws.
and bring back some police.
I do, and I just don't know how to, I don't know how to get at it.
Well,
You know, and I know the counties do not patrol Sturbridge or
Right.
Regency Park. You know, they may respond on an
Nothing,
accident if nobody can come, but other than that, we are paying another town to grow and kick our butt every single day. They're going to build 1,000 homes with a high school. But hey, here's your police department. Good luck. Let us know if y'all need anything else.
Well, Glen Road maintenance is the same way, so.
So Chip, can you all start that over,
I'm sorry?
Can you all start that process with the
We already
lobbyists?
have. We've started talking about it. We'll get together on it, find out the top to bottom,
I'd
see
be
what
curious.
the actual facts are, and
Yeah.
go from there. But I agree with you. If it's as you laid it out, we have to correct that.
Correct, yep.
It's a heck of a deal.
Yeah.
I may start my own town.
anybody else got anything else? All right, we'll adjourn to 5 o'clock.